So, as I was saying, I believe it's going to set up a lot of these villains. They use the same formula that basically turns Lizard into what he is the same universal formula that turns Norman Osborn into what he is. Obviously, the Lizard formula is going to be of some different chemical variety.
Okay,
something else, maybe DNA from a lizard. But I think the point of the first movie is to set up characters in a grander scale.
So, even though I don't want to say it, so kind of like how Kryptonite was with Smallville.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually a perfect example, Jerky.
Yeah, like it's the catalyst for different powers and such.
Pretty much. I strongly believe that Norman Osborn is going to get the Joker, Dark Knight, Nolan treatment, and that they're going to save their big guns for the second movie.
That would be epic.
That would make perfect sense as well.
Honestly, Gwen Stacy is going to die in the second movie. They're going to set her up in the first movie as being the girl that you and Peter like, and so basically they're going to set her up, and then she's going to die, just like Rachel does in the second movie. I mean, this is the formula now, basically.
People like Rachel?
Well, she has her moments. I'm not saying that she's perfect, but she has her moments. But that's completely that's on a different topic. I don't really want to get into because her character was poorly written and she has no significance. Basically, she dies and then basically it hurts for a little bit and then you completely forget about it. It has no significance until Dent brings it back up at the very end of the movie. I mean, you forget about it for a little bit. That's the problem. So whatever. Let's get back on topic. With Spider-Man reboot, I have high hopes for it. I think it's going to be good. I think things will turn out well. People say frick the reboot, but nah.
Well, they're just haters for cheesiness, aka the Raimi movies.
Let's just hope this is like the Batman series where when they switch directors. Let's hope we go from the Schumacher of it to the guy who's doing the Dark Knight.
Nolan.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can have those hopes.
I know there's a lot of people who say fuck the reboot and things like that, but correct me if I'm wrong, but there hasn't been a reboot that has failed. Every reboot has done tremendously
of a comic
well.
movie. Only the horror movies.
The reboots have been the saviors of said characters.
Yeah. Reboots for other things that aren't comics, those suck dick, but for comics they have been good, aka... Wait, isn't it just Hulk and Batman so far?
Honestly, when it comes to these reboots, I'm a big supporter in it because when you look at it as not only as a fan and as a filmmaker, not only are you getting a different interpretation of the characters or storylines and whatever, but you're getting a fresh start to fix your mistakes. And after Spider-Man 3, with the consensus being that it was overall a very piss-poor movie for fans, that we can agree on, I think fans should be jumping for joy that everyone is getting a fresh start when it comes to seeing these characters done the way they should be. I mean, a lot of people complained about Green Goblin. A lot of people complained about Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that was a good interpretation. But when it comes to these characters, even Tobey Maguire, people were divided between whether they liked him or hated him. A lot of people said yes, I agree. I actually was not a fan of Tobey Maguire. I liked him in the second movie, but in the third movie, absolutely killed it for me. Third movie killed a lot of things for me. That's the problem.
I knew the Spider-Man movies except 2. Spider-Man 1 and 3 were super cheesy. Spider-Man 2 was a great movie.
Yes, I agree. But that's the problem.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they switch the actors? Like James Franco was eventually supposed to be Peter Parker, and
yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think they should have just left it that way. I know the only reason why they changed because Raimi liked Tobey Maguire better, but I think James Franco would have been a much better choice. 1, he looks like Peter Parker. 2, he's a better actor.
And he would have been funny.
I'm gonna be the one to disagree with that. I mean, obviously you guys think that. In my opinion, to be honest, here's my problem with Peter Parker just when it comes to comic book characters in general. I can't believe anyone who plays like the only one who's actually worked for me is Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. But apart from that, I have such high expectations for these characters.
Even Reynolds. That's the thing.
What the Rock?
Like Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, but he's not Batman to me. That's the problem. I mean, I have a talk with my comic book store manager, and basically we agree on the same thing. We as comic book fans are our worst enemies because we have such unbelievably high expectations for these movies. That's the problem. They're ridiculously high.
Batman's. Mine was actually Michael Keaton.
I don't like that.
I liked him in the first one, not the second one.
I actually like the second Batman movie Returns more than the first because it was more entertaining. It wasn't actually a good movie, but it was funny because Penguin was a dick in it, and it was awesome. Batman 1 was boring because Joker, he was just being Down syndrome the whole time.
Hey,
let me go on record, and I'm going to say that I hate Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Me too.
Honestly, like I like Jack Nicholson as an actor. I think he's fantastic. Definitely worth his payroll when it comes to movies that he does. But honestly, she should not have been the Joker. He just should not have been in that movie as the Joker. I mean, I love Heath Ledger, but I wanted to see a classic Joker. That Joker in Batman is more closer to the comics, but he just isn't. He isn't right for the Joker. That's my problem.
They should have just straight up got Mark Hamill. Live action.
Mark Hamill, he did Birds of Prey in one episode. I think the pilot, the first episode, and he was painted up to look like the Joker, and he was fantastic. Even if he looked a little blurry and was out of focus.
And they did that so they could make him thinner with editing.
Mark Hamill is the best Joker ever. No one's gonna beat him ever. Whenever I read Joker in the comics, it's Mark Hamill's fucking voice. He just does. He just did such a good time.
Absolutely, it comes down to Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. They are the iconic voices for Batman and Joker, and it will never change for me. The guy, sorry.
Here's how I explain the Joker to people who aren't comic book fans. Imagine Heath Ledger's Joker is the way the Joker usually is, only more wacky and with more gimmicks. That's how I usually
like
and the people who
think that the gun with the flag in it.
Yeah, and people who think that Heath Ledger's Joker was like the most badass and scary the Joker has ever been, I also say to him that was also a pussyfied version of the Joker if you really read him in the comics.
Yeah,
like he crippled and they hinted to raping Barbara Gordon. He like tried to really mess up Commissioner Gordon's mind. He killed his wife while she was surrounded by babies.
While we're on this topic, I mean, if there are any Joker fans or Batman fans who have not read The Killing Joke by now, and they call themselves comic fans, especially Batman fans, they are really missing out.
I have not read it, but I don't call myself a Batman fan.
Okay, but The Killing Joke is Alan Moore's. It's one of his best, easily, without a doubt. It's one of the best Joker stories ever told, if not the best.
That's what I've heard. But I will read it when I have a job, so I can buy it. So I will read it eventually.
If you can, whatever way you can get a hold of it, because even without being connected to comic books, it's just a good story.
Oh yeah, this is off topic from Batman, but speaking how we're talking about Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, I really think Steve Blum is the official voice of Wolverine because he's been doing it a lot.
Yes, without a doubt, he's got a fantastic voice. I know. His voice.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, 90s Wolverine.
No,
fuck that. Steve Blum.
It's Steve Blum, without a doubt. I used to think it was 90s, like that was a really good voice, and in comparison, they're both really good. But when I ever read a Wolverine comic, I always think of Steve Blum now.
I know, I love his voice.
I mean, if you just look up Steve Blum's,
he's got an amazing track record. He's got an amazing, with anime, and all sorts of, just just voiceover.
He
stuff
was
in general,
motherfucking Spike from Cowboy Bebop. Come on.
He's getting big. He's getting big in video games too. He's the voice of Dempsey, the American character from Nazi Zombies, and he's going to be the main character in Bulletstorm.
He's also the voiceover for Green Goblin in Spectacular.
I remember
Which
that.
I thought that was pretty. I didn't recognize that it was him until I actually looked it up online. But that was really cool.
Yeah, me too. Most of the time, like he does sort of the same badass voice, but he actually got a pretty good crowd there.
He's got a good vocal range. That's what I admire about it. That's what I respect about him. Is that he has the badass voice, but he also is able to do different stuff.
Alrighty, well, on the topic
Batman?
of voice actors, why don't we go over favorite voice actors in said comic book video games?
Ooh,
Let's pick a specific character, and then we can go over that.
Okay, for Deadpool, even though Nolan North's video game with Deadpool hasn't come out yet, I already can tell it's going to be the best Deadpool, because of Wolverine versus Hulk. He's going to be in Marvel's Capcom 3 as Deadpool.
Yeah,
Nolan North has a really good voice.
But it's picture Deadpool.
Anyone want to start with Nolan North? Want to talk about him for a little bit?
Actually, let's talk about Deadpool's voice actors in said video games.
Okay, all right.
Too.
That way,
They've both been good.
Random person go first. Cece, he hasn't said anything in forever.
Well, when I picture Deadpool, I picture the scratchy voice, like actual throat cancer.
That's what I'm a strong believer in throat cancer for Deadpool.
John Cassier times like 3.
John Cassier, yes.
Well, that settles it. Tom Waits needs to be the voice actor of Deadpool.
I say for the animated series, they got the right Deadpool, but for game-wise, I would say, John Cassier does a great Deadpool for the video games. But the movie, I like the Hulk versus Deadpool also.
Well, honestly, I think we're not going to see Cassier anymore because Marvel's sort of making North Deadpool because he was also in the latest Spider-Man game as Deadpool.
Yeah.
But
and he has a good track record as well.
He's in every major video game now.
Well, here's the thing. Also, if you actually, it's in one of the little scenes in that game is you also have John Cassier doing one of the henchmen for Deadpool.
Oh,
yeah.
He's down the henchman now.
No, I think they might just. I think what's going to be happening is they're going to be trading back and forth on him.
Oh, okay, I'd be fine for that.
Because, just like I said, John Cassier is the one that goes kind of like the rest of us, right?
And then Nolan North is like Nate. He just uses his regular voice.
Nolan North and John Cassier, they're both really good as Deadpool, but as I said, I found him, the Deadpool I think of when I hear him is the John Cassier one. Because that's the first time, because, X-Men Legends, he was great in X-Men Legends.
Yeah, and 2 Ultimate Alliance games.
And he was also really awesome in Ultimate Alliance.
He's really awesome in Ultimate Alliance too. They really went forth with the Deadpool jokes in that game.
Oh yeah,
I love like the end credits thing. I love the end credits part where he's like actually like talking to the developers of the game. This game is going to be called Deadpool and his mediocre friends.
Yeah, it just gone from the first Ultimate Alliance when he was saying, "And we start a band and we call Deadpool and his lackeys."
Or I won. Do I get a car too?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, they just did such a great job. Or my favorite one was his bonus mission in that Marvel Ultimate Alliance one.
Yeah, when
he's talking about his origin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mixing like Hulk
everyone.
and Thor and Peter Parker, Spider-Man. He did that. Yeah, they put them all into one origin. It was pretty funny.
Oh, he also got Storm on there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I remember.
I think he had Storm.
I know he went over a huge amount.
Basically, he mocked everybody that was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was laughing my ass off when I heard.
Oh, so any final comments, guys?
Black Widow. I gotta know. Are those real? Yeah.